What's up, YouTube? Gonna do a quick video on basically another charger repair, and I'm sorry it's humid outside because there's a hurricane coming in, Hurricane Nate, so this is probably gonna fog up, but I'm just gonna show you real quick. I have another problem with the charger. Start it up. It's not really that foggy outside, I promise. And there it is. There's my tire pressure sensor. So let me go through the menu. Turn that down. So as you can see, I have zero tire pressure up on the front right, which I know that is not true because the car is sitting level. So what I'm going to do is I've already went on to Rock Auto. Man, this thing is foggy. I apologize. And hold on, let me try this again. Less foggy. Alright, so tire pressure sensor is damaged or not working. Once again, called up Rock Auto, and I got a new tire pressure sensor. Now this is a rubber one that installs, looks like it just pops in like a regular valve. There is a programmable number on it. I can show you that. So there's a sensor ID on the package, and it won't focus. So anyway, so I'm going to take the tire off and see if I can go get that changed. Alright, got the tire off. So here's the valve stem that I'm going to be replacing. I'm going to remove the core so I can let the air out and possibly Alright, so since this valve stem has a new ID, wow, this thing is not focusing for nothing. Back off. I went ahead and recorded the new ID number and put it onto the sticker. So I have that. Alright, so I did get the new valve stem installed. I ended up having to take it down to a tire shop and have them break the bead. So I could install it because I was unable to break the bead here at the house. Now, in order to get the old sensor out, it takes a Torx bit, a T10, if you can see it right there on the end, T10 Torx bit to spin that screw out right there. Once you spin that screw out, I'll show you, this comes apart, and now the only thing that's stuck in the rim, because this falls out, is just the valve stem itself, and it has a rubber, thicker rubber ring around the bottom. So I took a small knife, cut around there, and was able to pop that off. Now that part did fall inside the tire when I pulled this out, and so I ended up having to take the rim, or the tire, off of the rim, take the top bead off, so I could pull that rubber piece out. It wasn't really my fault. The guy that was giving me a hand with it, he ended up pulling it off and doing that. So anyway, but once you put the new one in, all you have to do, this, like I said, this is assembled on the new valve stem. So I just took a little bit of tire lube, lubed this part up, put it up from behind, and then pulled it through, making sure that this part was against the rim itself. Now this one doesn't have any kind of, this does have an identifying number. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have to program the new one. I'll let you know how I do it when I get there. But so this is the old one pulled out. Okay, there we go. Got all four sensors reading again. So basically, so you don't make the mistake I did, because I ended up having to take my tires back down and get them take the bad tire back down and break the bead again. Have to pay for that to install the reinstall the sensor. So what I did by accident was at some point the tires had gotten rotated, probably when I got new tires. And anyway, so the sensors never reset where they were on the car. So it turns out both of my rear sensors were on the right side of my car and both my front sensors were on the left side of the car. So that did not help the situation. So when I took the front right tire down, because that was the one that was reading on the meter here, when I took that one down to get it replaced, that was actually the right rear tire that I took down there and replaced the sensor on, so then it messed up on the dash. So what I had to do was I had to go around and I had to deflate each tire one at a time, not totally, just take out about 10 psi to figure out which sensor was what. And then I took a Sharpie and actually marked the inside of the rim of which tire was where according to the sensor here, which obviously has nothing to do with the rim, just the sensor itself. So I found out that my bad sensor, my front right sensor, according to this, was actually on my front left. So since I'd pulled out a good sensor, I went down to the auto shop, popped the bead, pulled just the sensor off, because I said, remember, it's just a T10 Torx bit to take the sensor off, put my good sensor that I'd taken off back on that one to replace the bad sensor, took it out. Well, all the forums that I was trying to read and figure out how to reset these, because they were not resetting, said that you needed to drive the vehicle for about 10 minutes above 15 miles an hour. Well, I drove around my neighborhood and that didn't do it, so I finally took it off, took it out of my neighborhood, and I got out on the road, and it took maybe about 3 minutes. I was driving about 45, 50 miles an hour to about 4 minutes probably, and it finally popped up a number. So as you can see, my sensor light is still on. I think it's because it's high right now. That popped on just as I was coming back. As they built up heat, I see I have one at 38 and one at 37, so I need to take a little bit of air out of those. But other than that, it started working fine. I didn't have to program anything. I just drove the car, and now I got all 4 sensors working. So just to let you know, so here is the invoice for that. Standard motor products, the tire pressure sensor, and it doesn't have a price on there, but I'm guessing that's the part number. And like I said, it was about $40 for that, plus $5 each time I broke the bead, so it ended up costing me $10 for that. So you'd save yourself a little bit of money by actually checking that ahead of time. So anyway, that's it. It's fixed now, thank goodness. Now I can get on to other projects. Anyway, thanks for watching.